Hey guys, I'm Heather. I'm your host here at Real Talk, and today I am flying solo. I don't have Andres with me, but sorry guys, we're having a little bit of feedback, so I had to mute those channels. But okay, so today, since Andres isn't here, what we're going to do is we're going to go over things that you didn't know that your CRM could do. So give me 2 seconds. I'm going to share a screen with you guys, and we're going to go over a lot of little tips and tricks that your CRM can do to help you scale and grow rapidly. Okay, so if you have a CRM, you might want to log into it now so that you can see what you're doing and we can jump into it and I can show you everything. Oh, having some technical difficulties. Come on. Here we go. Okay, so now what you guys should be looking at is a screen that says funnels, but we're actually not going to be working in that. We're going to come over to where you see at the very top QR codes. Now, one thing that's really cool is that when you have a QR code, somebody can just scan something. And these are things that you could put on flyers, on your phone, actually, just like as a picture and then have it saved. And what somebody can do is scan this code and it'll take them to whatever place you want them to go, whether that's a landing page or a form. A form is something that they would fill out. So I'm going to show you how to create that inside your CRM. So you're going to simply hit the create QR code, and that's going to bring you up to a screen that has a little picture of a cell phone on it. And then you're going to name your code. So I'm going to name this code. I already have this one, but I'm just going to make a new one, and I'm going to call it Real Talk Website. Then you pick what kind of code this is going to be. Where is the destination? What URL are you going to use? Are you going to do a website? Are you going to do a review link? Is this going to actually prompt their phone to make a phone call to you, send a text message, email, payment links, WhatsApp, funnel, form, survey, quiz? We can get into how you make quizzes. Those are actually really cool. Any type of thing you want to do with that. So let's just start with a simple website. So we're going to hit next, and then we put in our website. So I always like to make sure that I have the exact website correct, and there's no better way to do that than just copy and paste. So then come over here, paste that, and hit next. Now you can either take it how it is and download it or copy the link and you're ready to go, or you can come over here and you can customize it however you want to customize it. Do you want to change the background color? Do you want to change the default colors? So you can just pick whatever you want to do. You can play with this and change the background colors if you want, match whatever color scheme you have for your business. And then you have the dots colors. Do you want to change those colors as well? But you obviously want to make it something that looks different so that it's scannable. You can change the border colors of it. And this is not how I would design it. I'm just trying to show you guys the difference in the colors you can make. So like the little borders and then the center color. Now you can also change the shape and the patterns. So if you like these dots, I would say leave it alone, but if not, you can change it to a different form. A little bit of a delay. It's kind of hard with the colors that I picked here to see the change in it. So I'm going to go back and make the dot colors black again so we can see the difference. Now let's go back to shapes and forms. So you can see, you can change the shape and the little patterns if you want them to look different. These are the different styles. And then you can make it circle, you make the border circles, squares, or the rounded corners. And then if you want your market center circle or square, however you want that. Now you can also do something really cool, which is go in here and add a logo. So say you want to add your logo, you would simply browse and then find your logo. If you already have that saved, I do somewhere, but I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to grab our logo. And now you can see our logo. It's kind of small, but you can see our logo is inside there. Now there's also logos here you can use if you want to use these. Like if you're saying, hey, email me, if you're going to put this, your Facebook link, you can have all of these different things, but I want our logo since it's our website. Then you can have a background page, meaning like this little background. So if you want to come in here and let's just say I wanted to do, let's do this one just to actually no, this one. So your background would be here. Now, obviously this isn't a good background to use because it cuts off all of the words and everything. I'm just trying to show you an example. So if you want a custom made background for your QR code, then you could do that in Canva or some other creative tool that you guys have that you want to use. And then you have the transparency. You can change the background to make it to where it's not the focal point, or you can have it up at full transparency. Totally up to you guys. And then after you're done and you have it how you like it, you would just hit save. But we're not going to save it. And then you would have your QR codes. So as you can see here, I have quite a few that I use. I have one for Andres, I have one for me, and then I have different other QR codes that I can use and designs that I'm using. So that is one thing that you didn't know your website could do for your website. One thing you didn't know your CRM could do for you, which is create QR codes. Now let's talk about something else that your CRM could do that I bet you didn't know that it could do. And let's talk about making surveys, quizzes, and forms. Now, let's say you want to make a form. A form is something that somebody would have to fill out. So basically, when you're scrolling online and you see something that you like, whether it's a ad or something, and then you have to enter your information, that is a form. So when you're creating a form, all of that information is housed under sites and then forms. So you can either start from scratch or you can use a template. A lot of the templates are already done and really nice. And so I would say if you're brand new to doing this and you don't know how to do it, definitely use a template. So you can see here, and there's all different templates for all different things. And you can also come over here on the side and you can sort them. So you can come over here and you can see all the different categories. So let's say real estate. And here we go. We have all of the different real estate ones that populate here. Let's look at this one because this one looks nice. So let's choose this template here. So get in touch with your real estate expert. So this is where you would create a template for whatever forms you're wanting to make. So with this one, it's got name, phone number, email, preferred contact method, what we can do to help you, message, and how did you hear about us. So this is basically like a client kind of mini intake form. Now, what the super cool thing is that you can hit, when this is done and you set it up to your specific brand, you can come over here and you can hit integrate, and then you can either do an embedded code where you can put it in a web page. You can do share where you share it on social media. You can email it. But what I also like to do is copy this link and then take this link and go back over to your QR code and make that QR code. Because once you make that QR code for this, then you can have that and they can scan it and they'll automatically get this form. And that could be great for doing things like if you're out at a social event, networking event, whatever, you can do that and you have that all right here. So let's talk about how you would customize a form. Now, if you're not starting from scratch and you're using a template, which this is, we already have the background and we already have some of the elements in here. So let's give you a little tour of your workspace here. So up at the top, you have edit, which would be this screen where you can come in and change things here. And then the next page would be settings. So settings is when you would do things like when they do on submit, what happens? What happens when they hit submit with your form? And then you can integrate your Facebook in here, and you can also come down here and choose whether you want it to have sticky content. And then when we select the next page, which is submissions, you can see everybody who's submitted your form. Obviously, we haven't published this, so nobody has submitted anything. But once you have published it and you have people using your forms, you can come here and you can see everybody who's submitted your forms. But let's go back over to edit. So now that we're back into edit, let's talk about how we want to change these things. So if you see an element and you're like, I like that, but I want to change it, or I want to add another other element, you would come over to the left-hand side and click the little arrow here. What this does is it then allows you to come over here and choose, not arrow plus button, sorry, choose your elements. When you come to your elements on this side, you're going to see personal info. Then you see your buttons you can choose from, payments, if you're going to collect a payment in this form. And then you have address information, website information, organization information. And then you have text columns and then choice elements. We'll get into those in a minute. Reviews and then customized elements. So let's talk about changing this. So first we have on top, this is your picture that you don't have to have there, but if you want to have a picture here, you could add a different picture. So let's come up here and go to elements, scroll down until you see pictures or image. And you can find that in other images, and you would bring that over here and put it there. So if I want to choose a file, let's just say I want to make, actually, I think I'm going to use this one. And is it going to work? There we go. So now we have our picture right here, and we can get started with our stuff. Give me 1 second, guys. Andres is here. Maybe. Can you hear me, Andres?
I am.
All right. Give me a second. I'm trying to get all my
Can you hear
screens
me?
to work. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. There we go. I was trying to get all my screens to work, and they're being crazy because I'm streaming on multiple channels. So we're going to take a break from our form that we're working on so we can go back over and see Andres. There we go.
You're good. You're good. I'm enjoying watching it. I'm actually going to use that particular form coming up this weekend for an open house. But Heather, for anyone that's out there just listening and not seeing the video that you put together here, how can they have access to this? Where can they get more information about implementing this in their business, whether it's for an open house in the real estate space or any other industry that could benefit for the type of platform and the form that you're putting together?
We actually have a link in the video description that they can follow, and they would just have to click on that. It says get, let me see what the thing says. It's, I believe the second link, it basically just says get our CRM, and you can have access to all of the tools that we offer there. And you actually get it for a special discount if you're a Real Talk listener.
Nice, nice. And it's just these little details that you put together of the automation that goes into the back on the back end of things, right?
It is. It's the
Um,
automations of how to make your life easier with workflows, with automations, with not having to do every little task over and over and over again. Because once you set something up, you've set it up, and then it's good to run. And actually, I was gonna since we're here, I can show you what we had talked about before about putting custom code into um, a form or a website or something like that.
nice, nice.
So let's see. Have to go back out and do a different one. So give me a second because this one is already.
Yeah, if anyone's listening and is interested in learning more, they can reach out to us at our website, right? realtalkha.live. You can book a call with Heather or myself if you have any question in particular pertaining to the form that she put in place together today, or any of the other forms that we can definitely create and set up on your account. Whether you're in the real estate space, like any trade business, this all applies, all this automation and CRM for your business.
And my computer's being a little bit slow right now, but let's see if I can get it to. When I try to do too many streaming windows here, it goes really slow. Okay, so when you're in a web page, when you're making the web page, you'll come in here and you'll see on your left-hand side, you have the AI assistant who can help you build this. And then you have some sections here, either a blank section, insert an element, or generate with AI. Generating with AI is really cool. I really like doing that because you basically just type out and tell it what you want it to create, and it'll create it. Now, a lot of people have a misconception that you give AI one prompt and it's going to create this beautiful website with like back end stuff. And that's not how it works. It's a work in progress. You have to continuously give it a prompt. It'll generate something and then you adjust it. So when you're working with AI, you have to have the expectation of it's not going to be a one and done. It's going to be I give it a prompt, it makes a change. I give it another prompt, it makes a change. And just be patient with it because it's AI, not magic. But
That is true.
let's talk about, let me close this out and we're going to come over here and we're going to go blank section. And now we're going to have this. This would be a section. Inside your sections, you can have rows and then columns. So say you wanted to have two sections and you wanted to have an element here and an element there. You could have that. Now let's actually add another section and do the code. So, and you can also choose whether you want this to be full width, meaning the whole screen, wide, meaning like part of it, medium, or small. And it really depends on what you're wanting to do and if it's a mobile or if it's a like a computer. But we're just going to go with like a computer look right now. And now we're going to add an element. So you would come in here and you would grab the custom code element and it's going to give you this prompt right here. Well, in order to do that, you would need the code. So we are going to do this. We are going to, whoops, I'm going to come over here to this page and I am going to grab the code. I wasn't expecting you to do this right now. So give me a second while I go get our stuff for the code.
I have a question. As a consumer, if not a tech-savvy person, or I simply don't have the time to be able to sit down and create all these forms, all these templates, customized to me, to my business, can that be done?
Yep, that can definitely be done. That would be something that you could call and talk to me or Andres about, and we could do a consultation with you guys and go from there. With this stuff, it's not really something we can say, oh, it's this much money for like all of this, because everything is in depth and detail. And then obviously, if you're a real estate agent, you would be a perfect candidate for cloud. And that is something that you would book an appointment with either Andres, myself, or Jesse about as well. Do you have
And
the link to the resources for the thing off the top of your head? Because my computer's being really slow.
which resources?
The licensing, the CE shop.
Oh, for hours? Yeah.
Yeah, just the I don't know why it's not coming up for me.
Checking that over right now. Directly to the CE page. Great coupons going on right now, by the way. Anybody interested in obtaining the real estate license, the home inspector license, appraisal?
The management page, not the actual page, but the one that has like all of our stuff on it, our back end page.
Gotcha. I'm putting that right here.
Perfect. Thank you. Now I'm going to bring that over here, and I'm going to get the stuff for us.
All
right. Give me one more second. Yes. All right. Why is it not?
So today we're going over the open house form.
No, I was just doing just like a form. First, we did QR codes, and then we did just how to things your website didn't know your website did. Okay, here we go. Finally got the code. That took way longer than necessary. Okay, so if we come back over here, click inside the custom code. You're going to want to open the code editor and then place your code and then hit save. And now you see we have our banner right here. Now you can do this type of banner, a vertical banner, or you can create another section, add your element in there, your code, come back over here, and I'm going to grab a different code, come over here, open coder, paste it in, and then hit save. And then now you can see you have your banner here. So when you're on your landing page, web page, whatever, you have your code set in, and then that'll show up in the place of wherever you put your code editor at. So if you have affiliates marketing that you're doing and they give you a custom code for a banner to put on your website, that's how you would implement it into your website.
Interesting. Nice.
And if you want to see what that looks like in real time, this is our website, and this is that same flyer right there. Is there anything that you can think of that might be something that you hear agents a lot say, oh, I didn't know the CRM could do that, or I have a question about the CRM that I can show real quick?
I think some of the things, one, the email templates, the newsletter that I like to create for a monthly basis. That's one of the first thing that comes up.
So I'm actually working on something with monthly newsletter. So I'm going to hold off on showing how to automate that because I have a really good way of doing it. But I will show you emails and newsletters. But I want to do a whole thing on the automation of monthly emails. So to do regular emails, like, and I mean, it could still be a monthly email if you wanted to, you would go to marketing. On your left-hand side, you would hit marketing, and then you would come up to the top where you see emails. And you have your email dashboard where you can, if you're really big into email marketing, which on this account, obviously I'm not, but if you are really big into email marketing, you can track all of your stuff here, which is really cool because then you know which emails are working, which emails are getting bounced back, which ones are getting attention, and which ones aren't. Now you have your next little tab here is campaigns, where you have your workflows and then your bulk actions. And then the last one is templates. Now, templates would be like when you're inside the CRM and you're in a workflow and you're sending out emails. If it's an email that's like a constant email that goes out all the time, then you would make a template for that. And you can either create that with the AI or you can create it with templates of templates. But if you have one that you want to create with AI, we can do that too. And we can kind of experiment with that. So let's say it says, what template can I help you with? And then it's giving you different options here for little prompts like create an announcement email, a multi-column email. Let's do promotional email for, and then let's say an open house.
And this can be done to do a monthly market report.
Yeah, it can be done to do a monthly market report as well. So right now it's generating it, it's thinking, and remember, we're going to have to give it quite a few prompts to get the one that we want. Just don't lose hope and it'll get there. I'm also going to show you how we can put that. I think I'll show you how we can, if it'll let me, put that flyer in the email as well. So it's funny right here. I don't know if you guys can see it on your screen or if it cuts it off, but on my screen, it says success takes time, be patient or something like that. And it's generating your template here.
It already knows how you work, huh?
Right? It's like, don't yell at me, Heather, I'm trying. So this actually looks really pretty already. It's done a really good job of setting this up. And then you would just go in here and change a few of the details. So as you can see, we've got this set up and it looks really nice. So you have a little picture here, and then you're invited to our open house, RSVP now, ready to explore. It's got some buttons for you. So you would need to come in here and configure these things. And then obviously, if you want to change this stuff, you can do that as well. And then the contact information needs to be updated and changed in here. And then you can add your link to your listing right there. And then your social medias. If you already have all your social medias connect, they should auto-populate, but that's something that we can help you with if you guys don't already have that. So let's go in here and customize this. So let's start with the RSVP button. So it says RSVP now. So obviously we need this to do something, right? We don't just want it to be here and then they click it and nothing happens. We want it to actually work. So what we could do with this RSVP button is link it to a form. So create a form that you would call RSVP and then put that link right here where it says actions, or you could simply come over here and have it send you a text or something like that. However you want to have it do. I would just have it connected to a form. And that's what that button would do. It would take them to another little page where they would RSVP for the open house and put them on a workflow. Just make sure that your buttons go somewhere. So make sure it says URL and then you put the link.
Nice.
Now let's add an element. Okay. Edit manually. Add element. I want to do, this is why I was wondering if it was going to let me do it because I'm in AI. Yeah, it will code. Okay, let's do it. At the top. So is it putting me where's my element? Nope. Yeah, I'm trying to get, here we go. Awesome. Okay, so let's go to code, bring this over, and we're gonna put it right here. Can you still see the screen or is it kind of cutting off?
It's just here.
Let's grab that. Let's do a horizontal one this time since it's an email. Copy our code. Put our code in there, hit save. And then bam, there's our little flyer. So now we have this in our email as well. Now, if we go back to elements, there's different things you can add. Let's say your open house has a digital walkthrough, or you already have a virtual tour. You can come in here and you can add a video. Let's just say we're going to throw that video here. And then upload your video, and then your video's in the email as well. Let's say you want to do a countdown. You can bring a countdown timer and you can actually count down the hours, minutes, and seconds and to your open house. So if your open house is going live Saturday, you can have that timer in there to kind of drum up excitement for your open house. And then is there anything in particular that you're like, oh, I really would like to add this to the email?
No, I think that looks good so far. That's perfect.
So obviously this one is not exactly set up the way you would want it because AI did it. I'm just trying to show you the elements that you can add. Like if you wanted to add a social share in here, you could do that, add your socials right there. There's so much you can do with that. And then you would just hit save template.
I like it. I personally like it something like this, simple, straight to the point, you know, and the form is put in there, RSVP for it. I think that's people can quickly just glance at it and see what the whole point is and carry on.
If we go back over to our forms, see if I have an open house form. I don't think I have an open house form. Let's just create one real quick and then I'll show you something. So let's go start from scratch. And this is going to give you just a very basic form. And then you can create on top of that however you want to change it for your business. So let's go in here and add a image at the top. And now let's say that if this wasn't an open house form, let's say this was something else that you're needing to take information in. So like you need to have people upload information into your system. No, not this. So this would be file upload. I'd take off that. And then you can name it whatever you want to name it, file upload. Let's say that you're a real estate agent and you're meeting people off the internet. You don't know these people. We talk about safety all the time. And let's say you're wanting to ask them for a picture of their license. It's much more professional to say, hey, I'm going to send you an intake form. Please fill out the intake form. Then you could get their name, number, phone number, email, and then you can label this like picture of license, and then have them upload a picture of their license. And then when you get this form filled in, it'll have all of this information. And then you just set up your backend operations and your workflows to where it would create an opportunity for them, make them contact, and then this information would be there. So then you have their picture with their license. You can forewarn them or you can do whatever. It's just a safety feature. And it's really nice to be able to say, please fill out this form rather than text me a picture of your license.
Yeah, definitely.
But what I was talking about earlier with the link, this would be the link to this form. So you could copy it. So let's just say this was an open house form. You would copy that link. So you have that link, and then you would go back over to your email, templates. I guess I didn't save that. I saved that other one, but let's bring a button in so you can see. So if this is the button, click on the little button actions, URL, and then you would put that URL there. And now this button is going to lead to that form that we just created. So that was pretty much what your CRM can do that you didn't know it could do.
And there's a lot more to that. It's incredible. Every week I'm learning something new from the CRM, things that are accessible, like you said, that didn't know I could do. Things that are need to be implemented really, because it's also help facilitate the business, right?
Yep.
And just imagine, there's a lot of people out there that don't use the CRM. It makes it easier for them, right? We all have different ways to work, but over the past 2 years, learning how to use the CRM to my advantage and be in constant communication with the leads, right, with the clients. Even for birthday, you can create an automation through there, right? That can send a message on someone's birthday or give you a reminder of it. Just think about a compound effect over time. You're talking to so many people, you're helping so many clients. It's hard to remember everything, I would say. Like for me, it is hard to remember things. Yeah, it's hard to remember what I did yesterday sometimes. If I don't do it a certain
all the
way.
time. I walk into a room, I don't know what I walked in there for.
You just open the fridge to look for something. I'm like, what am I looking for? We just talk about dinner. What are we making for dinner again? But it's these little things that working with clients that you can take and put notes and remember these details that are important. Put it in there. That will help you with your relationship, right? That will get you more business down the road, and really have the system in place over time. So I think all of
To
this
your
is
point, what you're
important to
saying
know.
is really great is that you can set up those birthday reminders either for yourself or an automated text that'll go out at a later date so that you don't even have to set a reminder for yourself. The text is already going to go out.
Trust me, I gotta set up one for my wife. She's like, oh, you know what day it is today? I'm like, Tuesday. Well, you forgot, huh? I'm like, I guess I did. You don't know the number of times that has happened with its anniversary or particular days that are special for us. It happened quite too many times already.
Don't set your wife up on automations, Andres. Just remember.
You'll be surprised.
Didn't you forget
Uh,
already? Didn't you forget this year? What did you forget? I remember you telling me you were in the doghouse.
I'm always in the doghouse. I can't remember which one it was.
Okay, maybe set up automations then, I guess.
See, that's fine. If you can't leave the doghouse like me, you need to have a system in place. So, yeah, I'm one of those always there because of that. But then you ask me, it all depends on how I did things, right? Because I used to work in a warehouse for 12 years and I did things a certain way in that warehouse, whether it's the placing orders. And I'm not kidding, I have over $2 million worth of inventory, over around 1,000 items in the warehouse. I knew exactly where everything was. You know, I knew how things got there damaged. If things get damaged, if something happened with an order, I knew what happened because I took the time to figure it out, and I did it in a way that allows me to remember or set up triggers to remember those things, those details. So if something came up down the road, which was an easy way out for anybody in the warehouse, anytime somebody or question something, Andres, what happened with this? That was it. Rather than look into it or looking through the system, they just came to me because they knew I would remember just like that. But then you take me out of that and having a conversation, or my wife and I have anniversary, or a certain dinner, uh, I'm just blanked.
Just gone.
Yeah, until it comes back around and she reminds me. Do you make plans for that day? You forgot what day it was? Shit. Yeah. So that's me. That's why I need the automation.
I think everybody needs the automations, especially if you have staff that you're managing. That way, you have those automations in place because if you've got multiple people doing multiple things, it's easy for things to get overlooked because people are assuming somebody else is doing it. And if everybody assumes somebody else is doing it and nobody does it, then it doesn't get done.
That's a key word right there. We always assume other things. And to that point, I'll quickly take a during the mastermind this morning. We started a book earlier this week that is Fierce Conversations, right? And I haven't dived in. I just got the book yesterday. I haven't dived into it yet, but I was during the mastermind scamming through it, and one of the things that came up to me, and I took a picture of this. Let me read you what that is. Is how many times have you told someone what you thought it was good for them or what they needed to hear, right? Rather than what you really were thinking,
Yeah.
you know? And that is so truth. And in every conversation, another thing I take from there is sometimes you think you're having a conversation with someone, but you're really having a conversation with yourself because you're already assuming what the answer would be. You're already assuming what they're going to react based on your own experiences, based on your own conversations. So you're always having that conversation with yourself and not somebody else until you stop taking, the other person's point of view from your perspective into you are prejudging what they're going to say, what they're going to think, what they're going to feel based on what you had experienced before. Until that happens, you're always having a conversation with yourself. Like you and I are having a conversation right now. Part of you is having a conversation with yourself because of what I'm saying. you had a different perspective on based on your experiences. And I thought that was so deep and so powerful because it happens day in and day out. We grow up a certain way. We grow up with a certain paradigm because of our parents, our experiences, and if that doesn't change, we're always prejudging other people. Conversation before we even have them, and are we really telling them what they want to, what we're thinking, or what they want to hear? You know,
Yeah,
it's
and different people will take this something that said the exact same way totally different ways. Like some
yeah,
people can take something as a direct insult that was not even remotely directed at them at all, but still take it to themselves as like a direct insult, whereas somebody else would have that same statement and just like be like, "Oh yeah, just part of the conversation," and not even matter to them, just like rolls off the conversation.
it happens all the time. Another thing there I saw is authenticity is not something that you have; it's something that you choose, right? How many people you talk until you feel are truthful, are authentic in the conversation you're having with them?
Hardly nobody, I would say.
You know,
I'd say hardly nobody is authentic in conversations anymore. I think everybody
which
has the few people that they know and they trust, and you can have open, honest conversations. But like if you go out in the real world, it's actually something that Tony and I were talking about the other day. Is there are so many people who are just fake, fake conversations, and it's irritating trying to talk to somebody like them.
yeah, and it's a conversation that we need to have with ourselves too. Like you look in the mirror, yourself in the mirror sometimes. This is the best version of me. Is my past history, my the way I grew up, my belief, are they in line with what I believe moving forward? Are they helping me, get to my next level, get to where I want to go? Are my current beliefs are going to help me get there? You know, if they don't, you have to start making some changes into the way you're looking at things and where what you believe and what's going to help you get to the next level. So as long as we keep holding to the things from the past, it's not always what's going to get us or help us get to the next point. And as real estate agents, I'm just bringing it back to as a real estate agent, we don't want to make the next phone call because we are afraid of what's going to happen over the other phone call, right? We're afraid of rejection. We and we already had this pre-mindset of they're gonna they don't want to talk to me. They're gonna say no. They're gonna send me to hell. Like,
Just say they're going to send me to hell.
yeah, like the conversation I'm talking about. And but we make all of this presumption based on what we have experienced before, when the reality is it's not the case. And we heard from Alexei on Tuesday. Some people need joy in their life. They need some happiness. Sometimes it's just saying a good morning. You have an excellent day today. Make something meaningful today. Have an impactful day. Little things like that can make someone's day. And us calling someone not to necessarily mean because they're having a bad day, they're gonna have that bad reaction towards us. And if that's the case, we can say something today that will make their turn day around. So we need to approach it with open canvas and really have a meaningful conversation every time we meet. So great stuff.
Today was all over the place. It was a very unique show, but I got it done. So
Hey, it's one thing leads to the other, and sometimes there's beauty in that. So that's always is.
be be authentic and automate. There we go. Authentic
Exactly.
automations.
What more can you do?
Or that
You
sounds like
know,
a really good business name. Authentic automations.
see, somebody will take it from there.
I'm
But
copywriting it
just think
right
about
now.
that. You create authentic automations. Everything that you do, it's showing who you are. You know, you're sending the same vibe, the same trust on every automation you send out. People are gonna feel that. So it's annoying when you just start getting things for the hell of it consistently, and it's the same crap all the time. Like that's annoying. I get those all the time. You know, I'm an agent, but I also get the telemarketing calls. Sometimes I have pick up the phone just to have a conversation, to see the script, to see what they're doing. But you consistently see it's the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. They don't change the approach. So, but hey, that's how it is. Let's create some more authentic automations.
And I think that's about time for today. Anything else you want to throw in there before we sign off on today?
No, just be authentic. Be yourself at all times.
And call your damn leads and use your automations.
There you go. That needs to happen.
And make sure you follow us at www.realtalkha.live, where you can like, share, subscribe, and follow so you never miss an episode. And then make sure you join our communities so that you can get extra help if you need creating those automations.
Absolutely. Join us, follow us. Let's make it happen.
Yep. See you guys on the next